In part 1 of our video sessions with legendary cycling coach Bill Edwards, we watched his stall-out protocols using his progressive power technique. In part 2, we'll see Bill demonstrate another of his workouts, this with 15-time world champion Whaley in the saddle. And finally, we'll visit with world record holder, Olympian, and Ironman champion John Howard as Coach Rob T takes him through a progressive power training session in San Diego, California. Let's get started.
And so the workouts that we designed for Al are such that he gets his cadence up as close as possible to 160 RPM, and then when he hits the high resistance, his job is to try to maintain that cadence right to the end of the course. When he does his 200-meter time trial on the track to qualify for the match sprinting contest, it's about a 10 to 11 second effort. What his job normally has been during these workouts is to get his cadence up to between 160 and 170 RPM and then try to prevent it from going below 160 RPM until the end of the course.
As resistance is continually
As resistance
added.
is increased, yeah.
We're going to do some specificity. It's training at high cadence and building strength at high cadence. And when you're a sprinter, you need strength at, when you're going 160, 170 RPM, 140 even, you need strength at that RPM. A lot of people, they start to taper off. Your power starts to taper off. The only way to get power at that RPM is to train at that RPM. And the CompuTrainer make that possible. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do it besides motor pacing. But then this is a controlled atmosphere here. So, each time you can gauge your strength and your weaknesses and your improvements. And you can do it on a daily basis, every other day basis. But you always see where you are, because you can always set to the CompuTrainer to where where you want to be.
It gives you real confidence if you see your wattage going up week by week. And that's really important. And confidence has a lot to do with winning bicycle races. Boy, so if you have self-confidence because you know that you've done the work and you've seen the progress and you've been able to see the measurements of how well you're progressing, then that helps in the actual race. 1,059 watts. I'm going to save this.
You would think, after doing a couple of these, you're only sprinting for maybe 10-15 seconds with that you're not going to be tired, but man, you go home after doing 4 of these or 5 of them, you're whipped.
See, this is the workout. Now his cadence didn't drop all that much. I mean, he got up to 138 RPM and he ended up at 128 RPM.
Wow, look at that.
Look at this. His cadence didn't drop hardly at all.
Oh my goodness.
How about that? That's perfect. He got up to a maximum of 152 RPM, and at the end, his cadence was only 148. He only dropped 4 RPM. That's what we want, but we also want him to maximize his wattage. He got it up to 1,100, over 1,100 watts the second time. You can do as many as 4 to 10 efforts in a workout depending on how fit you are. And the criterion for stopping the workout and not going any further is when the max wattage starts to go down.
Okay. All right.
So what we would do with Al is, you know, after doing about 6 efforts, the next effort, his max wattage would drop by 100 watts. And we say, okay, that's it.
That's it for the day.
Yeah.
All right.
Stop.
I believe there's still room for improvement and increased strength and power, as well as speed, because you know what you're doing is you're prolonging what Bill calls it is your creatine phosphate that your body creates naturally. And so a lot of guys take creatine, you know, the creatine monohydrate or whatever the powder is, but then we were thinking, Bill and I tried that once years ago and it didn't work because your body stops producing it. Your bodies are smart, so you create it naturally by doing these type of workouts. So you're able to sprint 2, 3, sometimes 10% longer, and that's the difference between winning and losing. When I won my first world championship, I won by the width of a tire because I caught the guy right at the line, but he was faster than I was, but I had more than he did at the end. So, you know, sometimes, you know, just digging this a little deeper and having this a little more in your tank is the difference between getting first or second, or even last and first.
The creatine phosphate that's stored in your working muscle cells during a workout like this can actually go to 0. And that's when, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but a lot of bike riders have, is that when you're going all out as hard as you can, when your legs turn to rubber and you just can't go anymore, that's when you're out of that phosphocreatine gas, so to speak. So your tank is empty. And it only takes about 10 to 15 seconds to empty that tank. The neat thing is that the phosphocreatine restores itself within 5 minutes of not going so hard. The phosphocreatine completely restores itself in those muscle cells and you're ready to sprint again. These workouts don't generate any lactic acid, but like Al said, that over time what it can do is that it can actually increase the stored phosphocreatine by as much as 50% more. And if you can sprint 10 seconds initially, you could actually sprint for 15 seconds before your legs turn to rubber if you've really worked at it and developed that phosphocreatine tank.
You wouldn't really think that would take a lot out of you, but it does. But then on the same token, you're getting a lot more out of it. I can be out on the road riding for an hour or 2 hours. I can get more out of working out an hour here than I could on the road 2 or 3 hours.
Less is more.
It's the intensity that gets you stronger and faster. It's not the amount of time that you spend doing it. And so actually what these workouts do, because they're of short duration, it allows you to go to extreme high intensities. And the intensity is what makes you stronger. It's not the amount of time you spend. If you were to do workouts, hard workouts for 2 or 3 minutes, there's no way that you could achieve the intensities that you can achieve in a 10 to 15 second workout.
I'm just a product of the things in which you'll find in Bill's book. You know, if you want to win, get the book. It's $24, can't beat it.
Normally I prefer to be the coach as opposed to the victim.
Right.
However,
Beneficiary, John.
it's all in the interest of science. What Bill did was take Al and turn him into that athlete. So what I think is important is that kind of ability is there in an awful lot of people, and this is one way to pull it out, to actually find that diamond. And what I'm going to do is, well, I know my ability. I'm just going to demonstrate today, but there are an awful lot of people that this test would reveal a great deal.
Okay.
Plug it?
Yep.
Okay, you ready?
Go for it. Get John ready here, and I'm going to be basically responsible to let him know. I'm going to count him down from 3, 2, 1. Bam. We're going to go ahead and start. John's going to do his best to go ahead and complete this workout, which is 40 meters long, 15% negative 15% down, then negative 15 or positive 15% up. The intensity is really going to crank here. It should take him about 8 to 10 pedal strokes. Okay, here we go, John, in 3, 2, 1, go. Three, 2, 1, go.
The amount of base that you've actually created is accumulative. Let's say you've been at it as long as I have, you've got 500,000 or more miles of base.
Right.
All you need to do to activate that base is a progressive stall out. And it's not necessarily about a series of rather painful intervals. I think that has its place as well. But if you're looking for the maximum amount of benefit in the least amount of time, the progressive stall out is an excellent way to accomplish your mission. And as a coach, that's important to me. As a coach, I'm going to try to find the most efficient way to train an athlete who has a working schedule. Irrespective of whether you're an engineer on a limited amount of time schedule, or whether you're a Division I pro, you can essentially accomplish the same thing with the progressive stall out workout.
What the ideal we're looking for, again, always thinking of intensity. Maximizing intensity is going to maximize the amount of returns. So that's what this is all about. Maximum intensity, maximum returns, a little short time. So what we did was we shortened the course. We went into the coaching software, into the courses, into the .crs file itself, and I shortened the 15% grade climb from 40 meters to 20. So if he had tested on his pre-test, which he did at about 20, 22 RPM for the duration, effectively cutting that duration or the distance of the course is going to bring John right where we need him to be. So now he's ready to go with his next PSOP, and we're looking at this 8 to 10 revolutions for the whole workout here. Same deal, degree slope. John was able to bring his RPM. Investing a little bit of time, a lot of intensity, and you're taking away a whole lot of benefit.
But our focus is to make cyclists absolutely as efficient as possible in the least amount of time. And I've known Bill for 25 years, and I've been working with him for the last several years. And I wrote the foreword for Bill's book, and I believe that it is one of those little pieces of information that if you study it, you will have cutting-edge technology, and it's not a long read. It's a very efficient read, and I highly recommend it for any cycling or triathlete looking to improve their performance.
It's a really innovative new tool, as John talked about earlier. It's laid out, it's very easy to understand in the book, and it's just a fantastic program. Thank you, Bill.
You can take a pound off your bike and you can spend an extra $2,000 to get a 14-pound bike instead of a 16-pound bike. But the thing that really gets you faster is the motor. Workouts and this methodology will work for anyone, any cyclist, and it worked for a triathlete, a mountain bike rider, recreational rider who wants to do a faster century, or at least not get dropped on their Saturday rides that they do every week. I've actually had some fairly high-level coaches suggest to me that recreational riders are not really that interested in going faster on their bike, but I've never met one, because who wants to go out on the Saturday ride and come back to the parking lot an hour after everybody else and find that your car is the only one left in the parking lot, and be alone, not able to socialize, and have to go home alone? Nobody wants to do that. Specificity, absolutely important. Consistency, absolutely important. Intensity, absolutely important. Recovery, absolutely important. And doing workouts at the right intensity levels at the right times.
For me, it's been one of the greatest pleasures to be able to, work with Bill and just be able to talk to him and learn more about his philosophy and coaching, and it's helped me tremendously as I go out and train, and I know that I have a purpose, and every day needs to be specific, and I couldn't thank Bill enough for everything he's done for me.
Easy to go to a race and knowing that you're prepared. And then once you get there, you have the confidence, and that's what the comp trainer gives you, is confidence, because you see where your results are. You know, it's right there, it doesn't lie. The computer doesn't lie. You know, it tells you exactly where you are. And so with Bill's help, you know, I've gone to events and it's like, okay, I'm trained, I've done everything I can, and he's always said, you do everything you can to be prepared, and when you get there, there's nothing more you can do. You just have to put it to the, put your pedal to the metal in a sense, and then all the results will work their way out, and that's what happened with me. And
thank you for sharing your time with us and listening to our story here. And I'd just like to encourage you to go to the Comp Trainer website and pick up a copy of the book. And if you really are interested in getting faster, no matter what your discipline is, then the book can really help you to do that, and I recommend it to you highly.
Initially started the progressive stall out power intervals. I was initially getting out right around the low 600s in terms of wattage for the max power output for a PSOP workout. And we're about 10 weeks into this protocol, and I'm right in the mid 900s now. So, you know, the more strict adherence you pay to the protocols as Bill's laid them out, with warm-ups, getting yourself calibrated appropriately on the CompuTrainer equipment, and following through with workouts, with rest, and the whole program. Everybody out there, regardless of your experience, you're going to notice some pretty extraordinary results.